Now imagine the moon, usually a comforting light in the night sky, suddenly vanishing or turning blood red. What would you think it meant? For ancient cultures, a lunar eclipse wasn't just a scientific event, but a terrifying omen, a divine message, or even a cosmic battle playing out above them. Prepare to be amazed by the impact lunar eclipses had on shaping human history. You won't believe the secrets they hold. Before we start, please support us by clicking the like button. Now let's get started. Blood moon omens. The year is 1178 AD. A total solar eclipse casts its shadow over northern Europe. In Denmark, King Valdemar I is hosting a grand feast when the sky suddenly turns an eerie red color. Panic ensues. Could this be a sign of divine displeasure? As the moon disappears, an omen of war, death, or famine looms. Scholars have long debated the impact of lunar eclipses on human history. Did these celestial events really shape the course of civilizations, or were they merely a product of superstitious fears? Let's examine how people in different parts of the world reacted to lunar eclipses. The ancient Mesopotamians, who lived in the region between the rivers Tigris and Euphrates, kept meticulous records of astronomical events. They believed that when the moon turned a deep red color during an eclipse, it was a sign of great importance. These observations were recorded on clay tablets and are now some of the earliest known examples of scientific documentation. The Babylonians, a Mesopotamian civilization, associated the blood moon with the goddess Ishtar, also known as Aphrodite or Venus. They believed that when the moon turned red, it was because Ishtar was angry or in distress. To appease her, they built massive temples and conducted elaborate rituals, including animal sacrifices. Moving to ancient China, we find a slightly different interpretation. Chinese astronomers saw the lunar eclipse as an ominous event associated with disasters such as floods, droughts, and famines. They believed that the moon was a symbol of the emperor and that its brightness represented the strength of his rule. When the moon dimmed or turned red, it was seen as a warning of instability in the empire. During the Han Dynasty, people would make offerings to the gods to prevent disasters and restore order to the heavens. However, perhaps the most comprehensive and fascinating account of lunar eclipses can be found in the Maya codices. The Maya were an advanced Mesoamerican civilization that flourished in what is now Mexico, Guatemala, and Belize. Their codices contain detailed illustrations and descriptions of various astronomical phenomena, including lunar eclipses. The Maya believed that the sun and the moon were celestial deities, and that their movements across the sky had profound significance. When the moon was blotted out by the Earth's shadow, the Maya believed that it was being devoured by the god A-Puch, the lord of the underworld. This event was not seen as a catastrophe, but rather as a necessary part of the cosmic order. The Maya associated lunar eclipses with important dates in their calendar and used them to predict agricultural cycles and plan religious festivals. In India, ancient texts such as the Puranas contain myths and legends about lunar eclipses. According to one Hindu myth, the demon Rahu tries to consume the moon, but is interrupted by the sun, which then becomes trapped in his grasp. This results in a partial eclipse. Every time Rahu attempts to devour the moon, he is thwarted by the sun, creating a repeating cycle of partial lunar eclipses. Finally, let's turn to Greece. The ancient Greeks had a plethora of myths and legends regarding eclipses. One of the most famous accounts comes from Ovid's Metamorphoses, where the Greek astronomer Phaerodon predicts an upcoming eclipse. When the king announces that Phaerodon has offended the gods, he is ordered to sacrifice his daughter to appease them. However, before the sacrifice can take place, the moon is eclipsed, and the king realizes that he has been tricked. Filled with remorse, he releases Phaerodon and his daughter and sacrifices himself instead. What do these diverse beliefs and myths tell us about the human experience? Do they reveal a universal fear of the unknown or a deep desire to understand the natural world around us? Or maybe they demonstrate an attempt to impose order and meaning on seemingly random events. These varied perspectives offer a glimpse into the rich tapestry of human culture and our enduring fascination with the cosmos. And while these stories may seem fantastical or even superstitious to us today, they played a vital role in shaping the beliefs and practices of our ancestors. By exploring these myths and rituals, we gain a deeper appreciation for the ingenuity and creativity of ancient civilizations and the profound impact the night sky has had on human history. Guardians of the sky. While many cultures viewed lunar eclipses with fear and trepidation, some took a more proactive approach, believing that these celestial events could be controlled or influenced. In ancient Mesopotamia, for example, the Babylonians kept a close watch on the skies and believed that the changing phases of the moon could impact the fertility of crops and livestock. When a lunar eclipse occurred, they believed it was a sign of the moon goddess Ishtar's anger or distress. To appease her and restore balance to the heavens, they would perform rituals and make offerings, such as sacrificing animals and pouring out libations of milk and honey. These rituals were not only meant to satisfy the whims of the gods, but also to maintain social order and cohesion among the community. By coming together to perform these acts of worship, the Babylonians reinforced their bonds with each other and with the divine realm. Similar practices were observed in other ancient cultures. The Inca, for example, believed that the moon's phases were controlled by a jaguar and that lunar eclipses were caused by the jaguar's claws. To prevent the jaguar from causing damage to crops or livestock, they would perform rituals involving animal sacrifices and offerings of precious metals. These rituals were not only meant to appease the jaguar, but also to honor the Inca gods and maintain the delicate balance of nature. Lunar lore and creation myths. Faced with the awesome spectacle of a lunar eclipse, many cultures didn't just cower in fear or rush to perform placating rituals. Some also sought to explain this celestial phenomenon through captivating myths and legends that wove the eclipse into the fabric of their creation stories and folklore. For instance, the ancient Greeks shared a myth about a giant named Typhoeus who challenged the gods. As the other gods fled in terror, only the moon goddess Artemis remained, hiding in the arms of her brother Apollo. The earth, in an attempt to hide Artemis from Typhon, yawned widely, causing the moon to disappear. After Typhon was slain, the earth released her breath, restoring the moon to the night sky. This myth served not only to explain eclipses, but also to reinforce the Greeks' understanding of the divine order of the cosmos. It was a way to integrate a potentially terrifying event into a larger narrative of good triumphing over evil. Similarly, the Navajo people of North America wove lunar eclipses into their creation stories. According to their beliefs, the sun and the moon were brother and sister who traveled across the sky together. Whenever the moon passed between the earth and the sun, it was a sign that she had been captured by evil forces. The Navajo believed that the only way to free the moon was to perform a ceremony known as the Blessing Way. During this ritual, members of the tribe would chant, dance, and make offerings to the gods in order to restore balance to the natural order. This myth and the associated ritual served multiple purposes for the Navajo. It provided an explanation for the lunar eclipse, but also reinforced the tribe's cultural identity and their relationship to the natural world. It was a way to cope with the unknown and instill a sense of unity and purpose within the community. Cosmic calendars. Despite the awe and fear that lunar eclipses inspired, ancient cultures recognized the predictable nature of these celestial events and incorporated them into their astronomical observations and calendrical systems. The predictability of lunar eclipses allowed our ancestors to develop complex systems of tracking time, which had profound implications for their understanding of the cosmos and their daily lives. For example, the Maya were renowned for their advanced knowledge of astronomy and mathematics. They developed a sophisticated calendar system that incorporated lunar eclipses as a key component. The Maya observed that a lunar eclipse occurred approximately every 18 months and used this knowledge to create a sacred calendar that consisted of 260 days. This calendar, known as the Tzolk'in, was used to determine auspicious days for important activities such as planting crops, starting construction projects, or making significant life decisions. The Maya also developed an impressive system of vigesimal mathematics, which helped them keep accurate records of time and predict astronomical events. In ancient China, astronomers kept meticulous records of lunar eclipses, dating back to as early as the spring and autumn period. They believed that the occurrence of an eclipse could coincide with important events in human history, such as the rise and fall of dynasties. To understand and predict these celestial events, Chinese astronomers developed a lunisolar calendar that took into account both the cycles of the moon and the seasons of the earth. This calendar, known as the Huangdi Li, was used to regulate agricultural practices, religious festivals, and government activities. The accuracy and sophistication of the Chinese calendar system highlights the dedication and ingenuity of ancient Chinese scholars in their pursuit of knowledge. By recognizing the cyclical nature of lunar eclipses and integrating them into their calendars, ancient cultures were able to develop sophisticated systems for tracking time. These systems not only helped them to predict important astronomical events, but also to regulate agricultural practices, religious festivals, and other aspects of daily life. The ability to keep accurate records of time and predict eclipses was a testament to the ingenuity and observational skills of our ancestors. Echoes in the present. The legacy of ancient beliefs and myths surrounding lunar eclipses continues to echo in our modern world. While the fear and superstition surrounding blood moons may have subsided in many parts of the world, the symbolism and cultural significance of these celestial events remain deeply ingrained in our collective consciousness. Today, phrases like "once in a blue moon" or "red moon rising" still evoke a sense of rarity or foreboding. Similarly, the imagery of a blood moon or a total lunar eclipse continues to inspire artists, writers, and filmmakers, often serving as a backdrop for tales of love, loss, horror, or suspense. For example, Stephen King's novel and film adaptation of The Shining famously uses the imagery of a blood moon to heighten the sense of dread and foreshadow the supernatural events that unfold. As you reflect on the rich tapestry of ancient beliefs and modern cultural references related to lunar eclipses, ask yourself, why do these celestial events continue to captivate our imagination and influence our creative expression? What does the enduring legacy of eclipse lore tell us about the human condition and our ongoing fascination with the mysteries of the cosmos and our place within it? Thank you for watching. Please like and share this video if you enjoyed it. And don't forget to subscribe so you never miss any of our videos.